basic scenario that looks somewhat toe holdish. So this position again, guys, I talked about how if the shin is across your stomach like a belt, it's a really good orientation for the toe hold. If his knee is like in my navel and I'm here, I can still finish this, but it's not quite as easy as when I have it here. See, it's really, really tight to me. So I want that knee all the way across. I like this orientation right here for toe holds. I like this because it's very snug to my body. I really do own this leg at this point. Boom, and I load in now. I'm in a really, really good position to finish. Now, I was just talking with John over there about how to make sure that you get the tap and how to kind of load the pressure in this position. There's a little bit of a concept that I talk about from a whole bunch of different submission perspectives. That's like, the concept is called like little before big. So the idea here, guys, is that I'm going to use the small parts of my body to load in and lock in pressure before I engage pressure with the bigger parts of my body. The easiest analogy with leg locks, at least in my opinion, is with the Achilles. So if I'm here with Nate and I ignore the little parts, at least for the most part, right? I just throw my arm and it just looks somewhat Achilles-ish, and I get the lower portion of my body in really good position, and then I start arching. Right? Now, it's too late for me to go back and get a good bite on his ankle. As I'm like this, I can't slide my hand up into a good orientation because there's pressure loaded into the orientation, so I can't adjust the small things anymore. So I need the small things to be good, at least good enough, before I start loading the pressure and engaging the bigger things. Does that make sense? So this stuff has to be in place. Ideally, again, ideally it's not only in the right place, ideally it's in the right place and it's loading pressure of its own. So by the time this comes in place, all I have to do is take like a deep breath, and I get a tap, right? Because right into the back of his ankle. Ideally, that's the way it is. Now, if we're talking about the same thing as a toe hold, again, I pull it nice and firmly across. I'm here. I could just kind of get this, and then start like torquing down with like my body and start lifting up with my lat and forcing my hands down and getting this, but now it's going to be too late for me to make my grips just right to be able to get the tap, for the most part, because again, the bigger things are engaged. My arms, so I'm like using my lat on this one, using my tricep on this one, so my wrists, I can't like refinagle them to make sure it's a good move. So I need this stuff. One, look, I'm folding his toes forward and in. So, plantar flexion, inversion. Kinesiology, nerdy stuff, okay? Here, boom, boom, this. So I'm getting maximum strength. See how I can see little ligaments and stuff? When you stretch his foot, you can like start to see the skin taut over those bones. I probably can't put this on YouTube because it's just too, it's not good marketing at all. So that sucks. Because the rest of this is going to be pretty good, but you can cut that part out. Anyway, so I'm here, boom, I'm folding this stuff down, and I lock this in. This is just my wrist, so watch. I'm tight with my forearm, wrist number one, wrist number two. Now, by the time I start to lift with my lat and force the toes down, Nate's like big time tapping. Okay? So again, loading the pressure with the wrist first, making sure I'm snug enough. This means I don't have to use power, I don't have to use juice, I don't have to be like a meathead to finish a toe hold. I just need good initial technical pressure in the right ways with the small things. Then when I involve the bigger things, which is my lat pulling up, my tricep pushing down with my right hand, and my abs crunching in, it's an easy tap. All right, so really loading, exaggerating the pressure with the wrist, clamping with this elbow, then go for the rest of your pressures. Okay? Same groups, guys, pair it up. We're going to do a couple more of this, and then we're going to switch.